Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria 3, where I'm going to make the argument that it is time to raise taxes. We're going to go all the way up to very high taxes, all in one fell swoop. So that is absolutely understood. I don't think this number is accurate. Let's give it a week tick. Okay, 7.06. That's more like where I expected it to be. Now what I want to do is I want to start construction. I didn't actually give it a week tick, but it updated, so that looks good. We're going to start construction here, and the idea behind this is we don't want to be stressing our investment pool too much right now. We want to be building everything we can because we know we're falling behind on our number of jobs. At this point, it's probably worth going into debt in order to get this done. Our standard of living will fall, and that's understood. There's not really too much that we can do about that. We need to get people put to work, and that will help our standard of living. So that's the theory here. And yes, this is going to be some short-term pain in the standard of living. This is going to raise our radicalism. This is going to hurt our unrealized taxes. That's all understood. And that's the price that we're willing to pay right now for getting these jobs made. So we need to get going on that. We need to build as quickly as we can. In fact, we could make the argument that maybe we should expand our construction, but I don't think we can actually succeed in making that argument. We're negative on both our income and our investment pool. I'd love to be able to build jobs faster, but I think we're just going to have to accept this position. So we'll keep an eye on our standard of living. We hope it doesn't drop down too low, of course. But some drop of the standard of living is expected, and some going negative financially is also expected. We may be interested at this time in going in here and dropping the greener grass campaign in Michigan for the moment, and putting that, the authority from that, into a tobacco consumption tax. That'll actually bring us very, very close to neutral. Now, again, this is probably going to hurt the standard of living. That's okay. Yeah, you can see it dropped by 0.2 there. That's not shocking. Enactment time? I would have preferred success chance, but okay. So we're now net positive, and our investment pool is still net negative. Okay, that's absolutely noted. We need to get these constructions done, right? That's the absolute state that we're in right now. Now, once our private construction is finished, we're going to be bearing the brunt of these construction costs, and that is going to be painful. This tooling workshop will help address the price of tools, but glass is still high, and I want to check in on the state of glass, actually. What do we have going on here? Okay, so we can continue to hire in on our glass workshop, so that seems reasonably fine. We are, of course, working on expansion of our motor industry here in Wisconsin, which is pretty maxed out, and we do need to work on that. So that looks good. There's a fertilizer plant next up in the queue here. We're going to be finishing this tooling workshop very soon. This trade route is inactive. Okay, let's just get rid of it for now. And if we sort by revenue here, we can see we don't produce fish ourselves, so we need to import this. This export of fertilizer is probably okay, and I don't think we need to import the dyes here. We produce quite a lot of dyes, so we'll get rid of those. Okay, so this is our construction position, or, well, it'll be more than this. This is our construction position, approximately, now that we are no longer having any private construction. However, this will become, the funding for this will become available quite soon, and I think we'll be okay, is the theory. Now, you can see our radicalism absolutely ticking up. This is because our standard of living is dipping due to the taxes, and that's not shocking. So we're going to be building up a fair amount of debt here. The question is, will we be able to continue construction? That's quite a question. I don't know how long we'll be able to continue construction for, because I'm watching the financial district here trying to expand this fertilizer plant in Michigan, and I'm just sitting here thinking, that feels like a really long ways away. It feels like a really long ways away. So that's understood. We can keep building for a while, but our interest is going to be building up, and eventually this will start up again. We'll start paying down our debt somewhat, but I don't know by how much. We absolutely want to finish our rail rollout, and our rail rollout is done everywhere but Wisconsin, right? Yes, that is correct. Okay, and then our power plant rollout will be happening after that. So you can see we're currently 3 years away from getting all of this construction built right now. Algonquin Pop's becoming more radical. Can we afford the legitimacy? No, we cannot. We're going to have to take the radicalism. That's not ideal, of course. Let's see what happens with universal suffrage here. Actually, our standard of living is not doing so bad. This is probably because we're getting some people put to work, although that's a lot of peasants. So that's understood. We have to absolutely... And we can take a setback here. This is probably not going to pass. We have to absolutely keep constructing at this moment. That is very, very, very vital. So we do want to grow into this amount of construction. We're not there yet. Our fertilizer plant is going to be done being funded eventually. I'm a little surprised at how slow this is going up, though. Interesting. The total construction cost is $347K. Huh. Okay, well, we just finished up that motor industries. They're now working on privatizing the motor industries that we just built. That's good. That will get rid of the debt that we've built up. So that is a very, very good thing. We're actually net positive right now. We are actually building this fertilizer plant. 2.56 is not bad. This is better than I expected to be at. Okay. So we're net negative in the investment pool, but this is not bad financially. We can work our way out of this debt while constructing. That's a very good sign. Now, we can only do that while our private construction is going, but we've got 42 weeks on that, so that's quite a lot of time. That seems really, really good, actually. Yeah, I'm very pleased with this setup right now. And our standard of living is recovering. It was an initial shock, absolutely. But the standard of living is recovering. We need to get these jobs built, right? That is of vital importance. So if we look at the motor industry here, we can see that's definitely buying in. There's a shortage of rubber. Oh, okay. We have to import that. We can't. Okay. The American Reactionary Revolt is preventing us from being able to import rubber. That is not ideal. That's for sure. There's no additional rubber for us to import. We do have this route from the British market right now. The Confederate market, they would not allow this. Traded quantity of goods would be 0. And the reactionary American market, also traded quantity of goods would be 0. So we don't have a source for rubber there, other than the British. And they're maxed out on their trade route for now. So that is absolutely understood. That is a problem. So what is currently utilizing this? Tooling workshops and motor industries? Yeah, I don't really see a way around it, though, because we need to have the automobile production, which is where that rubber usage comes from. For the tool works, we would be able to go to maybe machined steel tools, but that would be more rubber. Where we're at right now, we don't use rubber at all. So I wouldn't mind going to machined steel tools except for the rubber issue. So for right now, there's not really anything we can do about that. We're just going to have to accept that there's a rubber shortage. We could maybe back off on the production of automobiles and instead import automobiles. I don't like that idea. I would prefer not to. But rubber is a significant issue for us right now. Yeah, there's just not much that we can do here. This trade route is predicted to remain at level 1 under current market conditions. I'd like to bring that trade route up, but the trade route will not grow to level 2 because the total trade revenue after tariffs would decrease too much, and the revenue per employee annually is below 10. Okay, so this is just not going to go up. Perhaps once the reactionary American market, or rather the American reactionary revolt is no longer a thing, perhaps that will stabilize and we'll be able to import rubber there. Hopefully. We can hope. So we're currently positive in our finances. That's great. We hit another stall here. Oof. So we've been rolling poorly on universal suffrage. That's not terribly surprising, but it is sad. We're going to get this oil rig built in United Indian, Ohio in 5 weeks here, and it will definitely be good to have that oil production coming through. So that is fantastic. If we look at our population growth, it's still solid. And our standard of living is okay. We need to get some of these people put to work, right? And that's why we cranked our taxes, so that we can get this construction going. That's the idea, anyway. So this oil rig is going to be going here. How much would it cost us to expand our construction sector? 10.5K. We can't really afford that right now. Okay, so let's get this oil rig finished for now and finish our rail rollout in Wisconsin. Once that's done, actually, I want to check through these and see. I don't think that any of these utilize rail, and we can't go to rayon just yet. I think we're working on that, though. So that seems fine. Sulfur mines are already on rail in Wisconsin, and logging camps are not. So we could get this going. This is probably going to cause us a bit of an issue there. Maize farms, they do not utilize rail, and universities obviously don't use rail. So that's understood. This railway is going, and the question is that going to be a shortage in Wisconsin? As of right now, it seems like a no, but I still want to have this baseline this baseline level of railway in Wisconsin. We are producing transportation via our urban center, so that's probably currently sufficient for these needs, but that may change as demand for this stuff ramps up. So that seems good for now. We're building up a decent amount of money at this point. We have a hardwood shortage. Really? What's using it? The artillery foundry. Ah, okay. I didn't know we had an artillery foundry. That must have been something built by a foreign investment, right? So we can move specifically this logging camp over into hardwood production here. That will produce less wood, and that will deal entirely with, actually, maybe not even this one. Let's see. This is a level 2 logging camp. This is a level 2 logging camp. This is a level 2. What about up in Minnesota? This is a level 1. Yeah, let's get this over to hardwood production. We don't need much hardwood. So we're just moving this guy over. So that looks good for now. We'll produce a small amount of hardwood there. We're no longer running a rubber input goods shortage. Did that trade route grow? Perhaps. Let's see here. Yes, it did. It did grow. Okay, beautiful. So that's good. The trade route grew, so we now are good on that front. So we've got a good amount of gold reserves at this moment, and the financial districts are currently working on expanding paper mills. They're waiting for that funding to become available, and that's not going to be a thing. So that's absolutely understood. We are going to, well, this is eventually going to be a thing, but not for a while. We're net negative because of our construction cost sharing here. So that's absolutely fine. So here in 15 weeks, hi Wargaming, here in 15 weeks, we are going to finish up this fertilizer plant. And in 35 weeks, the railway in Wisconsin, although this will be a little faster. So we're going to be net negative for a while here. So building up gold reserves is not bad. But look at this. We're up to 3.8 million GDP now. That's looking really, really solid. As far as getting people put to work, we've been roughly neutral, I feel like. Oh, a debate success on universal suffrage. Maybe it's still alive. I doubt it. Okay, so building up funds here is a good thing because we're going to take a lot of a lot of deficit pressure, right? As soon as we get this finished up in 11 weeks. So building up a construction fund is good. I like it. We're not seeing hugely negative penalties from our taxes at this point. That's good. That indicates that our economy can handle that sort of inflation. Like the inflationary pressure on buying that gives. That's good. That's very, very good. I guess that's deflationary pressure, isn't it? Now that I think about it, because they have less money to go around. Yeah. So, I mean, our GDP has expanded quite a lot in that time, though, so that's a very, very good sign. This looks like we're going to be okay to continue to construct for a good long time. Hopefully for the rest of the game. That would be ideal. If we're at the point where we can construct for the rest of the game, that would be phenomenal. This was a rough economic situation that Tecumseh was in to begin with. Now, we could have gone, like, aggressively military and leveraged Britain into expansion, and that probably would have been the best way to go. But I treat Victoria as primarily an economy and politics simulator. And I wish the politics was a little bit more in-depth. I'm reasonably okay with the economic simulation. I think there's a few things that they could definitely go a little more in-depth on. Like, for example, trade routes and tariffs and things like that. That's definitely something that they could go a little more in-depth on. But overall, I'm pretty content with the economic simulation. I think it's pretty okay. So we're getting close to 4 million on our GDP now. That is fantastic. Absolutely wonderful in that regard. And we can see here, we are going negative on our number of peasants. Okay, that is great. We just finished up that private construction, so you can see we're going to be paying a fair amount. It's going to be more than this. It's going to be like 7 or 8K that we're going to be in our deficit. 5. Better than expected. That is definitely better than expected. Do we want to build in Illinois first for our power plants? We should think about this. I'm thinking Michigan should not be last. I'm thinking Michigan should be first. Then probably like either, maybe we should do this in order of GDP. So this would be 473, 698, 1.19, 429, 664, 287. Yeah, so it would be like, it would be Michigan, then Wisconsin, then Indiana, then Minnesota, then Illinois, then Ohio. So Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana, Minnesota, Illinois, Ohio. Like that would be the way that we'd roll out electrification, just in order of GDP. So that we have the best returns fastest, right? So that looks good. It's going to be a while before we get any of these power plants rolled out. But we definitely do want to get some amount of electrification going. And these are going to be hydroelectric plants for now, I think. Are we on coal? Artillery foundry. Let's go to breech loaders and rotary valve engines. That'll be fine for now. And we're going to want to export some of that artillery, probably. But I wanted to check down here. Where's our power plants? Here we are. Okay, we're on hydroelectric. We don't have access to the coal-fired plant yet. Noted. We could go to gas streetlights and boost up the price of coal. That's probably not terrible. That'll also mean fewer automobiles, less glass, less steel. I think that's okay. Let's go ahead and do that. We can't go to electric streetlights yet because we haven't electrified. But let's go to that for now. We hit another stall here again. Yeah, this isn't shocking. We're rolling very badly on universal suffrage, so that's absolutely fine for now. So we're just about to finish out our railway rollout at this point. We're 2 weeks away from that, now 1 week away, and that looks solid. So Great Britain is enforcing military access, sure. That seems fine. So here in Wisconsin, the real question is, how much are we going to need this railway? Well, some is the answer. We can see that the price of transportation is a little bit up there. So that looks okay. It'll take it a couple of weeks to get going, of course. So I think this week it'll start hiring in, maybe? No, maybe next week. Sure. So that seems fine for now. That'll start dropping the price of transportation here in Wisconsin. Not this week yet either. They're going to try again on this week. Okay. There we go. So 52 employees. It's something, anyway. So that seems fine for now. Our power plant in Michigan is actually only 19 weeks away from finishing right now. That's very quick, but it's going to actually be a little longer than that, because we're going to start expanding our paper mills in Wisconsin with private construction here very soon. But I'd still be delighted to have all of this finish up. It's only at 96%. This isn't going up all that fast, but you can see minus 5.37 plus 5.83, roughly even. So that looks good on that front. I'm not too concerned about these construction costs right now. We've definitely taken some radicalism, but it looks to be leveling out at this point, and hopefully it'll start working down. We're in a contested government right now. Okay, that's not ideal for sure. Well, it's fine for now. Okay, so there's that private construction starting up. This is working on the paper mill in Wisconsin. So the power plant is now 27 weeks away. And this privatization of railway in Ohio is not going to happen anytime soon, I don't think. I'm still very tempted to build another construction sector. I just don't really feel like we're in a situation where we can do that. Like, economically. We're in a reasonable situation right now, economically. But if we were to do that, it would bring us just negative. It's going to be painful, but I'm going to do it. We're going to get that going. So that'll be fine. That will get some people put to work there, but it's going to be expensive. But I'm very tempted to get this done, just because we're building up a large amount of gold reserves right now. So that seems fine for the moment. Our investment pool is net negative while we're constructing like this, so I'm not necessarily super convinced that this is a great idea, but I do want to get this done, and we'll hopefully grow into it. We're still growing at almost 40k per annum, so that's absolutely fine. Our number of peasants is kind of holding firm. So getting some of these put to work in construction sectors and getting more jobs rolling out will be a significant improvement for us. So that is a good thing. The finances might be a little bit less good, but who knows? We'll see. So it's going to take a couple weeks for that to take effect. It's going to be a bit painful here. Okay, 2.27. This is not the final amount. It's going to take several more weeks. Law debate failure. Okay, so this is going to give us our setback, and this is going to fail. This isn't shocking. We rolled very, very badly on universal suffrage here. So it'll fail eventually. And then we'll get started on maybe another thing here. Off to the fire with the entire notion then. Okay, so we have a contested government at this point. Do we have any other law changes that we actually want to do? We could try to do multiculturalism, but everyone hates this, and this is probably not a good idea. I think we'll hold off on that for now. Our government is contested at this moment. Our election is going to be next year, so we may want to just wait on that, is what I'm thinking right now. And yeah, you can see we're minus 3.3, minus 9.57. This is not in the slightest shocking. So we're going to continue this construction at a much faster rate of speed. And I'm hoping that we end up growing into this tax base. Now, how much do we have in unrealized taxes right now? 1.4k. That's absolutely noted. This is due to our amount of radicalism, which is continuing to trend upwards. So the question is, what would a budget cut cost us? 2.26k? Okay, noted. We could do a budget cut down to here, or rather a tax cut down to here, until such a time as we run out of gold reserves. And then we could start working our taxes back up and hope that we've grown into this construction speed at that point. That would be the idea. But this is still going to be kind of rough. So 10 weeks on this paper mill. We are going to get our power plant in Michigan done, and that will help our production methods substantially in Michigan. So that looks fine for the time being. But yes, as expected, expanding our construction is hitting us a significant financial snag. But this will mean that we can output these jobs faster, which is exactly what we need. We really need to get these jobs output faster. So that'll be fine. And we're going to be done with this power plant in 5 weeks. That means that we're going to have some production methods that we can change around in Michigan. So that is good. There's actually a lot of stuff here in Michigan. And as far as this artillery foundry goes, we should probably be exporting this, right? And no, we don't want to change our tariffs at all. We can't. We're on free trade. So that's understood. I want to do an export route of cannon, and we can export this over to the British market. That'll be fine. And that's going to be net negative for now, but we can just subsidize that a little bit. It's not going to be much. So 2 more weeks until this power plant is done, and out here in Michigan, we are going to have quite a lot of things that we're going to want to change over in terms of production methods. We're going to have to do this on a state-by-state basis. But the power plant in Michigan is finishing now. Okay. So that looks good, and what we want to do next, of course, is we want to go through all of these. Now, we could take this to Houseware Plastics. I don't usually do this because the price of oil is usually bad. I'm actually going to do it for now. We might have to back off of that later. In the explosives factory, there's really nothing that we can do. We can't do brine electrolysis because we don't have the tech for that. Fertilizer plants, nothing that we can do there. The steel mills. This, we could go to the electric arc process if we had invented that. Synthetics plants, no rayon available yet. No tech for that. Okay, so let's see here. Automated bakery, we don't have dough rollers, so we're lacking tech there. As far as this paper mill goes, we're on pulp pressing? Really? We should be on paper bleaching. Why was that on pulp pressing? Okay, well, that's definitely going to be a boost. Assembly lines for our tooling workshops, absolutely. That's going to require electricity, and that's understood. In this artillery foundry, assembly lines as well. Again, that's going to require our electricity. That's fine. And I don't think there's any... No, we would need the diesel pump here. We don't need that for now. We don't even have the tech for it. We would need compression ignition for that. So these mines, not going to be much, but the logging camp, we can take up to electric sawmills. And we're absolutely going to do that. I don't think there's any changes we can make in the maize farms with electrifications. Livestock ranches, on the other hand, we can take up to electric fences. And refrigerated rail cars, once we get pasteurization at electric railways, we're really far behind on our tech. This isn't shocking. Okay, so vineyards. We could go to automatic irrigation, and we probably should have done that previously. So that seems good. And of course, our power plant here, this is going to have to hire in. Our railway, we don't have electric trains. Nothing really can be changed here, although we could go down to the philosophy department. That would be more paper. For the time being, I don't want to change our university production methods. Okay, so we're currently short on hardwood again. That should be dealt with by this logging camp up over here. And yeah, looks like that's going to hire in. So that seems fine for the moment. And we're going to have a significant amount of money that's going to be... Oh, we're not working on this paper mill? Okay, so we're going to have a significant amount of money that's going to be going away once we're not doing the investment pool. That's understood. They're working on privatizing a railway next. It's going to be a little while. So that seems fine for now. Our GDP is going to soar as we get this electrification online. But this is going to cause us some temporary pain, for sure. It's going to take a little while to get this done, but it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we will continue to work on electrification. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.